former President Donald Trump actually sent the media into a frenzy over the last week because he called out Kamala Harris and questioned whether she was Indian or whether she was black. Now, if you do any amount of research into Kamala Harris, you know that she's a mixed woman. She's a mixed woman of color, right? Her mother is of Indian descent, like real Indian, not Native American, like real Indian, like Asian Indian. So the mother comes from over there, and her father is Jamaican, right? So Kamala Harris, since the campaign trail, has been presenting herself as if she's a black woman, right? Now, let's set the context, because when someone says that they're a black woman, what is the first thing that you think? Do you think that that woman is of color, or do you think that that woman is of African American? Now, I'm going to ask that question because, well, matter of fact, let's do it this way.
Black woman.
Okay, that's why I agree with that. I agree with that. But is she African American? No. But is she African American? There's a difference. There's nothing wrong with that. No one is trying to take anything away from her.
Let's go down into her lineage.
I think you're falling into a trap of that.
So basically, Don Lemon, and I'm not a big Don Lemon fan. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he made a truthful statement. It was a truthful question. Being a black woman, when someone says that they're black and they're American, they're usually referring to being African American, not being part of the general African diaspora. And now look, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm off, but in general, from the observable eye, from how the internet goes about things, from the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, how all these people, they quantify or they qualify the blackness being that they're talking about specifically African Americans, which, just to be clear, African Americans are distinct from Africans. African Americans are distinct from Haitians. African Americans are distinct from Jamaicans. So at the end of the day, you have to specify that, because when everyone's saying, oh, she's a black woman, no, she's black-ish. I'm just saying, she's in the diaspora. Her father was a part of the diaspora. Fine, whatever. If you listen to Judge Joe Brown, let him tell it. And I'm not disagreeing with him. What he's saying is the dad don't even claim to be black. But that's neither here nor there. Being black in the diaspora, meaning that you're of color, you come from some African descent, it's not the same thing as being a black woman in America. It's just not the same thing. And it's just disingenuous to try to pretend like it is. Really, it is.
What she had to do was say, I am black, but I'm not African American. That's it.
Don, I think there's actually a trap. I'm not falling in. Let me finish. Hold on. I'm not falling into a trap by that. When she goes down her lineage, many Africans landed in Jamaica and all these other Caribbean islands. So she could indeed be African American mixed with other races, but she is
Jamaica's not America.
But
she's not African American. She was born in America. She was born in America. What's wrong with making that distinction? What Don Lemon is saying is fair. He's fair. It's not the same thing. And this woman is being disingenuous. She's being disingenuous because you know what he's saying. You know completely clear what he's saying. You talking about the price of tea in China. What? What do you mean? Oh, some Africans landed on Jamaica. Jamaicans are distinct. They are a separate group. Her father is from there. Her mother is from India. South India, around there, Southern India. That means that she's an American citizen. She's not African American. It's not the same thing. She's Jamaican Indian American. Indian Jamaican American. Let her tell it. Or, yeah, she's not African American. So when people are saying she's black, no, you're not voting for an African American woman. You're voting for an Indian Jamaican American.
She is a black woman. She was born here in America. Okay, well, let's go into Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. His father was Cuban.
This is not about Ted Cruz. You're changing the subject.
But you know what? We cannot. It was hypocrisy.
Look at her. She's triggered. She's triggered. Look at her. She's triggered.
Well, see, I'm not changing the subject.
Yes, you are.
She's a black woman. I don't know what you want.
Cruz.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that. Remember that, guys? That was a complete accident. But yeah. Accident, but you know, we raw and unfiltered. Hey, but yeah, let's just stop being disingenuous and let's just really tell the truth. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when most people say that they're a black person, they're talking about African American. Africans don't consider themselves African Americans when they move here. They consider themselves Africans who are American citizens. It's not the same thing. Being an African American denotes that you are literally, it's different. It's just different. Like people, you have to understand and look at the context clues of the world. You know what I mean? When a Japanese person is born in America, right? Or they become an American citizen, that yes, they're known as a Japanese American, right? But African Americans are distinct. We're distinct. Yes, we come from America, but a lot of us, we mixed in with the white people. We mixed in with everybody that was around. So I'm just saying, it's like we're genetically distinct. So when we're saying African Americans or black people, we're usually not talking about the diaspora as a whole. And that's just the truth. Now, yes, there are some pro-blacks that consider everybody in the diaspora, but in general, people do not consider that to be what it is. So you're not voting for a black woman. You're voting for a Jamaican woman. You're voting for an Indian woman. You're voting for an American citizen. So, I mean, I'm not mad at him for questioning her identity. Is she committed to black cause? Does she care about the black cause? Does she care about the black cause? Does she?
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had...
Why does every time that somebody asks Kamala a question, she always has to turn it into some history lesson, like she should have been a school teacher instead of a politician or a lawyer or an attorney? You know what I mean? Or an attorney general or a prosecutor or a vice president or a senator or the president. But, you know what I mean? It's neither here nor there.
Legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal.
Can you imagine?
Around housing, we have disparities around education, we have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody...
Could you imagine this woman going up to Putin and saying, oh, what can be unburdened by what has been? Get this woman out of here, man.
Everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the Lift Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not
punishing basically, and this is one of my problems with the Democrats is you want to punish people for making more money when in reality, the people with money are the ones that are running and fueling the economy. That's stupid. It's stupid.
a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
You heard it. You heard it there, folks. Like I said, she couldn't answer that simple question. Just to only answer that simple question. Just word salad. I mean, it just, hey, but y'all like it, huh? Y'all like it. That's crazy. Stop calling that woman black, man.